Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Today's video is a Maserati door dent. We have two creases right in the middle of the door. A bicycle handle fell on it. Put a little crease right down the panel. No big deal. It's mild steel. I want to point that out. It's not high strength steel. It's not aluminum. It is mild steel, which makes this repair significantly easier than if it were to be high strength steel. If this were a high strength steel repair, I'm pretty confident I would not be able to get this repair out as well as I did with this repair here. So I hope you guys stick along, enjoy this video. Okay, so right here at the beginning of the video, what I'm doing is filming before I start any repairs. It's going to be time-stamped in my phone. I'm showing any damage to the interior trim panel where I'm going to be working. Because it's an older vehicle, you can see here clearly that there are quite a few nicks, scrapes, scuff marks, paint transfer, shoe, like right here, shoe. I think that's a shoe, scuff marks or whatever. But these are things you need to document, because if you don't, customer may think you done it, and then bam, you just have, now you have to pay for that repair or replacement of that interior trim panel. I try to do this on every repair because you never know what's going to happen. So keep that in mind. All right, here is the crease. As you can tell, it's about a 7 or 8 inch crease, the major one. It is not very deep. And then you can see and then boom, here's the aftershot. It took about 3 hours of repair. The most difficult part is there's an intrusion beam going right across that dent. It's very difficult because of that. So what I'm doing here is I put a little towel to protect the interior trim panel from my window shield, because I don't want that little window guard to scratch up that cloth, because it's not a hard rigid plastic, it's like a cloth type material, and it can damage very easily. First step we do, clean the panel off with denatured alcohol. Make sure we get it completely prepped so that the glue adheres to the panel and adheres to the tab, so you have no issues. You don't have to worry about whether it's the tab, the panel, or the glue. It is very humid outside during this repair, so I have to constantly keep that panel clean with denatured alcohol and heat to get the moisture off the panel, which heat takes away the humidity, so does the alcohol. So what I'm using here is the gangrene dead center crease tabs along with their original gangrene tab here. I'm just using different tabs based on the way the dent looks. I mean, you can't see what the dent looks like here, but in other photos you'll be able to see later on. But as you can see, there's 2 dents here. We're going to go ahead and glue pull both of these. I'm going to start this repair with the glue pulling because I want to remove a large portion of the dent as quickly as possible without any kind of push marks. This prevents push marks. And I really like glue pulling or cherry tips, soft tips to push the metal first. It just helps get the metal straighter quicker. And then you can go behind with your sharp tip tools to really finesse the metal. The goal is to get as much metal out as quickly as possible. And as you can see, I'm using a tab weld. It works extremely well for this temperature I'm in. It's about 75 degrees here, but it is very humid. And you can see how easily the tab weld comes off the panel. It's because it's not completely dry, meaning it hasn't cured, or it's not cold. If you find that it's brittle and is breaking off in little flakes, just hit it with a torch or a heat gun and get the temperature of the glue up a little bit, and then it'll peel right off with some alcohol. Tech tip for you. As you can see here, this is what it looks like after the initial pull. A lot of it came out quite nicely. If this were high strength steel right here, it would have already stretched it and the repair would have been ruined. That's the big thing that I don't think anyone talks about, is the difference between high strength steel and mild steel. Everybody's always concerned about aluminum. Who cares? Aluminum's easy. Unless you're doing the Porsche. I mean, the Porsche hoods, those are extremely difficult. But for the most part, it's high strength steel we need to be worried about. It needs to be a 100% markup. In my opinion, that's what we do. We do a 50% markup for aluminum and a 100% markup for high strength steel. And that's just what we do because it's extremely difficult. I have a Toyota Tacoma door I did. It took a ton of time. The dent was not perfect by any means, just because it's high strength steel. And this thing was completely, it was awful. I'm going to show you right here. Boom, take a look. It's just not easy. High strength steel is not easy. Okay, so we're going to do a second attempt or second pull. We're going to use the same dead center tabs, the very narrow ones, the narrowest ones they make from Gangrene, Black Plague, PDR.com, or is the website you can go to get these tabs. They're great. I always recommend buying tools and equipment from the original manufacturer who created the tabs. That's just what I like to do, but you can do whatever you want. The mini lifter here, I got that from Dentcraft. I really like this mini lifter. The spring feel on it is pretty solid. I enjoy it. The only thing is you got to replace those rubber feet every now and then, just because it'll wear out on the edges, and it can open it up to where you can scratch the paint with the metal feet, and you don't want to do that. And when I'm glue pulling here, I'm just doing light little squeezes because I don't want to over pull it and stretch the metal out. So, because these tabs are phenomenal when it comes to moving metal, and you can create really sharp high spots with these tabs. You got to be very careful. It's just trial and error, especially if you've never done it. And I like to use denatured alcohol. In my opinion, it works amazingly well. You can get it from Home Depot, Lowe's, hardware stores. This is what it looks like on the second pull. You can see how much that came out. I mean, those little tabs did that. They pulled a lot of metal. You could probably glue pull this entire repair if you wanted to do that, because the metal is so nice. It's that really high quality mild steel. So glue pulling for that is absolutely okay. High strength steel, in my opinion, no, I don't think so. Unless you're an expert on high strength steel, I'm not. Give me a call. Let me know how you do it, because I really want to know. I've seen only 2 repairs on YouTube or Facebook pages where people actually show severe damage on high strength steel. Most of them are mild steel that you see these extremely difficult repairs. So think to yourself, ever working on a Honda or a Toyota door and you're pushing with a door hook tool and you're just killing yourself trying to get the metal to move, and you're thinking to yourself today, man, I suck. I can't get this dent to come out. That's what happened to me back in 2012. I was doing a Honda Accord. I couldn't get the metal to move. I just thought I sucked that day. But no, I realized later that it was high strength steel I'm working on. And it just makes a huge difference. I really want people to understand the difference between high strength steel and mild steel. You just don't hear people talking about it. And this here is we're just going back and forth, tapping down the high spots, blending the metal out. It flows very nicely with this type of metal. German cars, luxury vehicles like this Maserati, they usually have great metal, great steel. I don't think I've really seen any high strength steel on any German cars. I always see mild steel and aluminum on hoods. That's sometimes aluminum doors, but like Porsche, sometimes they have aluminum doors. But so you know how people say, oh my God, it's aluminum, I'm so scared to do it, or can you fix my car if it's aluminum? No, yes, I can fix it, please, I want to. But the thing is, when you go to describe to your customer that it's high strength steel, it blows their mind, and I can't really explain to them why it's so difficult, because it's so complex. I just say, hey, this is a different material makeup in the metal. This steel is high strength steel. It's a very difficult repair. Markup's 100%. And when they hear that, they don't like to hear that straight up. But when you're spending a lot of time to try to get this metal flat, and you think you have it flat, and then you look down the side of the panel and there's a bulge. High strength steel, man, I'm telling you. Go to your best body shop that does the highest quality repairs. Talk to their technician about high strength steel, and I guarantee you they're gonna say, yeah, we charge more money, more hours, not more dollar per hour, but more hours for the repair, just because it's that difficult. A lot of adjusters don't know the difference, and that's okay. I mean, that's not their job to know high strength steel, mild steel, but you got to educate them. Hey, this is high strength steel. It's more time consuming, more difficult. and we need more money. So I need to do a better job of conveying that message. That is definitely for sure. I've been working on it. It's just, yeah. So here it is. I'm taking out the light here so I can see access points. And you can see that intrusion beam. It was going directly right over both dents. So what I have to do is get in here with some well tails. This tool here really didn't do anything. I was only able to get on about an inch of the dent. So I had to switch over to a well tail, a 1/2 inch well tail from A1 Tools, and use that through the top of the door and through the bottom of the door. And that's what took about 2 hours worth of the repair. The glue pulling was like 20 minutes. Between the glue pulling and the tapping down, about 20 minutes worth of effort. So most of the time was spent with the well tail and getting that to work. So let me know what you guys think as far as between mild steel, high strength steel, and aluminum, and the different types of aluminum out there, like Porsche, Fords, Mustang hoods, Expedition hoods. I mean, those are different. Toyota hood, Toyota? Yes, some aluminum on those are different. But every manufacturer has a different material makeup in the aluminum. And I've noticed when I'm doing the Porsche hoods, 100% of the time I have broke tools or I have bent tools and twisted them just because that metal is so stout. It takes so much force and effort to get the aluminum to move. It's just very difficult. And I'm going to put up here a clip, an example of breaking the tools on an aluminum hood here on a Porsche. I even told the customer that this was probably going to happen because it always happens, and sure enough, it did. So here I'm going down the door with this tool, zero luck, just maybe like a 1/2 inch on the top of the dent I was able to get to. So it was a waste of time. But here it is, the 1/2 inch well tail from A1. It's very flexible. You can bend it into different curves to be able to fit in the panels, which I really like that. You can see it's bent. And you can slide it into great points. So we're just going to walk it back and forth and fix all the micro loads that we can with it. And I had to do this here for about 2 hours. So as you can imagine, that's not fun. But once I was able to get the dent flat, I was able to sand it and polish it. I had to sand it because there was like scratches in the clear, not just paint transfer. There was little scratches in the clear I had to sand out and then polish and buff it up. And then it came out very, very nicely. So I'm very happy the way this one turned out. The customer was adamant that it should be perfect or close to, because they didn't want to see any imperfections. So I made sure I spent the time. I want to say this one was about $500 and somewhere in the $500 range, like $520, $530. I don't remember the exact dollar amount, but it was somewhere like that. The reason being because the second dent, I didn't charge for it because it didn't show up in the photos. And when I got there, I was like, man, dang it, whatever, I'll just do it. Because I knew it was mild steel, so I knew it wouldn't be that bad. But I did it as a courtesy. So it really should have been more money for the second dent, but it is what it is. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. Email me. As always, have a great day.